Hi everybody. I hope you're doing well. I am well and I'm very excited because today is my business anniversary and today is also a very special day when I'm unveiling my first book, and it's called Corporate Law, a Handbook for Managers. And it is a manager's practical guidebook to business law. So it's a great day for me. I have written for the last 15 or 16 years for various publications, and it's always been in my bucket list to do a book. And finally, the day is here. So without much ado, I want to introduce this book to you and what to expect in this book. So one, from the title, it's a book on business law, corporate law. Corporate law. It's for business people. You don't have to have a business to get a copy of this book, but it is basically business law. Now, business law is very wide. You can't cover it all in one book. So what I'm going to do and what I promise is we are going to cover different facets of business law in different volumes. So we have about 6 volumes which are going to come up. And when you have all the 6 volumes, I'm telling you, you have your simplified business law handbook or corporate law handbook. Now, this book has been written for managers or for people who are decision makers. You don't have to have the title manager on your door to get a copy of this book. You could be a sole proprietor who has to make managerial decisions. You could be anybody who has to make managerial decisions. And this book is written with you in mind. And another thing about this book, there is no legalese in this book. That is one thing I can promise you. There's no legalese. And I took the approach of writing a book, a simplified book for non-lawyers. One complaint I have received, or one observation I've received from many people, they say that you lawyers are too complicated. They say we don't understand anything you write. We don't understand your letters. We don't understand even the documents you're giving us to sign. And when I listen to several people in the market and even CEOs, I went for a conference where CEOs were complaining and they were saying, we don't understand what you're telling us. And when I listened, I opened my ear and listened, and I realized we need to communicate to our managers. Writing all those Latin words, mutatis, mutandis, viva voce, and all those things are not helpful, because I look at it like you're communicating to yourself or you're communicating to a fellow lawyer. So I wrote this with a non-lawyer in mind. And it is written in simple business English, something anybody who speaks the language will follow through easily. Now, in this book, I come from a background also of strategic management, which I've studied. And we learned, when we were doing strategic management, we learned a bit of managerial things, like managers have certain decisions to make. And to make those decisions, they need certain information and they need to have certain skills. So some of the skills we learned that managers should have, you should have people skills, leadership skills, financial skills, and many other skills. And when I looked at it, I felt like managers also need legal skills, basic legal skills. And this is what I have provided here. And in this publication, I have simplified legal issues. I have, highlighted legal issues that any manager needs to know to make quick decisions. I have also given case studies and practical insights. I have also created checklists, and I'll give you an example of that checklist. I have created checklists, very simple, practical, user-friendly checklists that managers can use to help them to get to a decision. And when I talk about volume one is about the foundations. And foundational issues are so critical for managers. And there are two types of managers. The owner manager. Even if you're an owner, you're still a manager. And then there are those other managers who are employed. So this book will be helpful for owner managers, for solopreneurs. It is also very valuable for investors, for venture capitalists, anybody looking to open a business in the Kenyan market. Please grab your copy. And the reason is very simple. In this book, I have highlighted the role of the top executive. What is your role as a manager? What is your role as a top executive? And I have also made a case for why you should have legal skills. And I remember there's a board I was sitting on, and I was asked to chair the audit committee. I have no background in finance. And so being asked to chair that committee kind of intimidated me. But our chair lady, our overall chairperson, challenged me and told me, Cathy, you can do this if I equip you with the skills, with the basic skills that can enable you perform this role. So I went for a training in Naivasha, and a 1-week training. And after that training, I was equipped with the skills on audit and finance. Until today, if you give me a book of, books of account, I can make a quick decision because of the skills that I was trained in. And so I am making a case here for you, managers and CEOs, on the importance of legal literacy. Many of the cases we find in court, I don't have the statistics, but when I listen to the ones I've listened to, I can say about 80% of them should not be in court. 80% of them could have been prevented by a proper managerial decision made at the right time. And in this book, we tell you how to do that. We show you the importance of doing that. And we even give you case examples of people who made mistakes that should not have been there in the first place. Did you know that Fortune 500 companies, out of, according to the Fortune 500 companies, I don't know which year it was, but in that year of survey, litigation costs alone $210 billion in court. That includes legal fees and the payouts. In Kenya shillings, 29.6 trillion in 1 year of the Fortune 500 companies. And in most of these cases, this litigation could have been prevented by proper managerial decisions. So this book will show you how to save costs spent in court and on litigation. I will not spoil the surprise for you, but one of the things to look at when you're starting a business is to understand the legal environment. To understand the business environment. So in this book, we are giving you law and strategy. How law keys into strategy. How law can change your strategy. Basically, how law can add value to your strategy. If I give an example of the Africa, there's this trade agreement, AFCFTA. It's a law, and that law has created new opportunities for businesses. So when you buy this book, you will see how law and strategy go hand in hand. And I will not digress more, but in closing, one of the most common questions people ask when opening a business is, which business should I open? What type of a business should I open? And excuse me, many times people rush and just register, register any type of a business. I know somebody who has almost 30 companies, 30 different companies. So whenever someone gets an idea, they run and register a company. Second idea, run and register a company. But did you know there are other forms of business? And even if a company is what you want to register, what are the advantages and disadvantages based on your business model? And in this, I have given you the different types of businesses, advantages, disadvantages, and which is the best model for your business. I think there's a mistaken assumption that company is more prestigious than other types of businesses. It's not always the case. And you will see, like for passionpreneurs, people who are following their hobby, which is the best business model for you as a passionpreneur. So anyway, we have a checklist here and a diagram that will help you, lead you to a decision as to the best business model. It will help your thought process, and it will help you come to a decision that indeed this is the best business model for me. So thank you for listening to me. Today we are just unveiling the book. We are going to be getting back to you shortly on how to get yourself a copy, how to grab a copy, and how to also sign up for the upcoming copies. We are going to have 6 other volumes, and we are going to provide a volume for HR managers. What are the legal issues you should be looking at? We are going to give you checklists to make your decision easier. We are going to look at a volume for supply and procurement managers. What does the law say? And checklist about that. We are going to have a volume on corporate finance and property law. We are going to have a very interesting volume for marketing and sales manager. There are legal issues that come up with marketing. There are legal issues that come up with sales, and we are going to provide you with that. And this is, I think, will be my most favorite, a volume for ICT innovations and innovations managers. There are a lot of new issues nowadays, and we are going to provide you with all that. So thank you for listening to me. Remember to grab a copy. We are going to get back to you on how to grab a copy. But in the meantime, should you want to, order, or do you have any question regarding the book, reach us on the number below and the email below, and we'll be very happy to respond. Until then, God bless.